We will be recording this meeting as well. That way, for anybody that, if I go too quickly and you need to go back and look at something, we'll send out an email after the meeting is over so you can kind of check these out if there's something that we kind of glossed over. The other thing you can do too is in the chat. You can certainly ask any questions during the meeting, and then when we're all finished, Lynette and I are both here, and we'll kind of go through the questions and answer any questions that anybody does have. And we'll hit that at the end of the meeting. We'll wait, give everybody another minute or two here to get logged in, and then we'll get started. So thank you all so much for being here already. All right, we're going to go ahead and start. First off, thank you all for joining us this evening. It's not the usual way that we like to do things and have meetings like this, but at least we're able to meet with people and talk to you a little bit and kind of give you a synopsis. Hopefully, as most of you know, my name is Mark Immig. I'm the head age group coach here for the CSP Tide Riders, and Lynette and myself are the co-lead coaches for the junior varsity group. And I say that with Lynette basically running the group and me helping her out as much as I can. And so it's been kind of fun doing that over the past couple of years. The assistant coach for the junior varsity group, and it says senior, my apologies, but for the junior varsity group will be Logan Rennie. So he and myself and Lynette will be at pretty much all the practices. Logan has other groups that he works with, so there are some times that he won't be able to be there. Our main assistant coach over the past couple of years has been Jack Davies. Jack has been lucky enough to find a new job out in southern Florida, so he is leaving us after this week to go coach a new team, and he's very excited, and we're happy for him to have this opportunity. With the new registration system, hopefully everybody's really kind of enjoying it. We've really liked it, but with the new registration moving to online, we haven't gotten all the parent volunteer forms in yet. And so I know that they're kind of being put together as who's volunteered to be parent reps. So as soon as we know who the parent rep for the junior varsity group will be, we'll let everybody else know. We always have a lot of people that volunteer to help us out with that, and we appreciate that. Some of the board members we have in the junior varsity group we're excited about. We have Sarah Polk and her daughter Emma's in the group, as well as Brad Kelly's daughter Marissa, and Patricia Theodos' son, Lucas. Lucas in the group as well. So we've got a couple board members whose children are swimming in our group, and we're happy to have them aboard. Swim attire for practices and equipment. Please make sure that your swimmers have all the equipment for the junior varsity group. That includes nose clips, snorkels, pull buoys, fins, paddles, and right now, most importantly, the water bottles. And the water bottles are very important because during this time, we're really not using the facilities there. Which includes water fountains. So if they don't bring their own water bottle, they don't have anything to drink during practice. So they do need to make sure they're bringing all their equipment, and water bottles is probably the most important thing. In fact, at this point now, Lynette does want them bringing equipment at every single practice. So they are supposed to be bringing their equipment at all times, all their equipment. You can also shop at B&B Aquatics. You can shop online or go in person. If you want to go in person, they've got one store in De Pere, another store in Chesterfield. If you want to shop online, the password for CSP is GO, lowercase, CSP, uppercase, 63143, which is our zip code. And actually on our website today too, we put out information about personalized caps, parkas, jackets, hoodies, all that stuff is out there. So check it out. They got great apparel and they do a great job for us. The parent handbook is on the team website. When you are logged into the website, if you just go into home, there's a drop-down bar there, and you'll be able to look at the parent handbook. If you're bored, you have nothing else to do, take some time to read it. Also, you have a couple apps that you can use. The free app, which is On Deck, it's all one word. That app is through Team Unify. So to log on to the On Deck app, what you need to do is you need to have your CSP website login name, your password, and then you need the team alias, which you'll see down there is OZS CSPT. This app, it's a great app because you can check your swimmers' times, you can check their meet results, you can check what their meet entries are coming up for future meets, as well as you can check their practice attendance. That was the other thing. You can check their practice attendance to make sure that they're not playing hooky and skipping out of practices. The other app out there is Meet Mobile. When we have a lot of meets going on, Meet Mobile is a fantastic app. You do have to pay for that one, but it is a way that you can kind of track your kids' times at meets. Or if you have grandparents or aunts or uncles, or you're out of town, you can always go online and you can see what's going on at the meet just by looking at Meet Mobile and see how your kids are doing. And we know they're always doing great. Group calendars, email notices, and mailboxes. Any last-minute practice changes will go out through the email system, as well as Twitter and text messages for those of you that have registered your phone number on your swimmer. What that means is when you log into your account, you can access your athletes, and you can put one cell phone number within that athlete. Once you do that, if we send out a last-minute change, like the other night when we had somebody get sick at practice, we actually had to cancel practice. We sent out push notification, email, and text message to anybody that had it registered, and they got that information and were able to come pick their kids up, and that works out great. So it's important to make sure that you have that verified on your account. And again, I think they only allow one number on there, so make sure you do that. Also with Twitter, if there's a last-minute change that we need to get out, we will send that out through Twitter as well. But keep in mind, our Twitter is a private account now, so you do need to follow us on Twitter if you're interested in getting any tweets that we send out. Please make sure to check the group calendars on a weekly basis, as we don't send out practice change reminders unless they are a late addition. Although right now we are sending you practices on a weekly basis as we are kind of adjusting to what pools we are or are not having. Currently, we will only be out of one pool right now, so really we're almost full force ahead. But we do still have some changes there that will be coming from time to time, especially at Westminster right now. The high school season has started. They are having their first meet tonight. The reason why we are not able to have practice tonight is John Burroughs does not have a pool yet. Their pool is getting completed, and because of that, they are going to host their meets at Westminster after Westminster's meets. So if Westminster and Burroughs both have a meet, the Burroughs meet won't start until 6 o'clock maybe, and that might be what time they're starting warm-ups, and then the meet won't be over till 7:30 or 8, so there's really no way to have practice at that point, which is why there was no JV practice. So we'll let you know when that's going on. If you are logged in the website, you can also subscribe to your specific group calendars that your swimmers participate in. So just go to the group calendar, click subscribe, and that should download everything into your phone. For those of you that know how to do that, great. I've never done the subscription to the calendar, so I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it does seem to be pretty easy. Don't forget, if you're looking for practices after the first of the year, so once we get to January, make sure you change the year from 2020 to 2021. We always have people, and that includes us as well, they go to January, we forget to change the year, and it's kind of confusing at first. So make sure you change that year. We also will have mailboxes at Westminster Christian Academy. In the mailboxes, we'll put swim-a-thon information, and there's some swim-a-thon awards in there from last year. We'll put any kind of stuff that needs to go home that we don't want to send out through email. We'll just put it in the mailboxes, as well as any awards once we start doing meets. Please make sure you verify your cell phones and any kids' cell phones as well, so that you can receive any important last-minute info, such as practice cancellations. But you also need to make sure you can do that on your main account page as well. Parents all the time will say, my email is not verified. That's something you can take care of. When you see that your email is not verified, you click on the unverified button, which is where it says unverified. Click on that, and then it will send you an email to whatever that email address is, letting you verify. So that way you're getting more information. Team uniforms, the t-shirts have been ordered and we'll be distributing them as soon as they're in. Each meet, we want kids wearing specific shirts, either this year's shirt or last year's shirt. So if you're new to the team this year, you'll get 2 new shirts once the new ones are in. And if you're a returning member, you'll get the new one only. Once we get back to normal meets, we will email out what shirts they need to wear at meets. along with warm-up times, and we usually send that out on Tuesday or Wednesday prior to the meet. We'll send that information as soon as it's available to us, but we have to wait on the host teams before we can even send that out. Practice schedules and group placements. Junior varsity has 6 practices a week offered. We can encourage the swimmers to make 3 to 4 practices a week when possible. Some of the swimmers are making 4 to 5, and especially with everything going on, not having many other activities, some of them are coming 5 to 6, which is fantastic. The more you're there, the more information you get, and the better you're going to get. Criteria to moving from JV to the varsity squad includes being 11 by February champs, attending the meets offered for JV swimmers, including travel meets and all championship meets they qualify to attend, and a commitment to practices. And then the other thing, of course, is they have to be physically ready. Just because they may meet some of these, if they're not ready from a practice standpoint, we're not able to move them. So they do need to be physically ready for that as well. We do group moves once a year. We do that after the summer break. But with that being said, however, if we have kids we see are completely in the wrong group for one reason or another, we make those adjustments when needed. So the hardest part of this meeting right now is the meet schedule, because there is no meet schedule right now. With all the protocols and limitations, we are currently not having any meets on the schedule. However, hopefully you realize that we do have a meet this weekend, an inter-squad meet. And so while we're not able to compete against other teams, we can compete against and within our own team. Just like we ran our summer inter-squad CSP Summer Invitational this summer, we're going to be doing the same thing. And we're trying to do this once a month. What we are doing right now is an IMR, which is I Am Ready, or IMX, which is I Am Extreme series. And so this month, the 12 and unders, they're going to be doing all 4 50s, while the 13 and overs, they're doing the hundreds. Those are the events they need to be getting towards their IMR, which is I Am Ready scores. And then
times count.
Yeah, this is a real meet, so times count for sure. This is sanctioned and everything. So we don't run meets just for fun. We want to make sure that the kids are going to get some kind of results out of this. It will work towards, once hopefully come January, we start doing real meets. The next month, we'll start doing the IMX, which will be the hundreds of each stroke. And then the following months, we'll start looking at the 200s, the 500s, whatever they need to do to complete their IMX scores and their I Am Ready scores. So this is what we're planning to do right now, and we're excited about it. But keep in mind, the decks are pretty much clear still, which means swimmers and coaches and officials and timers only. And right now at these meets, we're only going to have 8 timers. The timers can sign up today online. That is out there today. Watch, great. Sign up the time. Otherwise, you can watch it on Zoom. This is important for this group. 12 and unders are no longer allowed to wear tech suits. That's been banned by USA Swimming. So later tonight, when I'm done with the meeting, we'll send out, along with the Zoom meeting as well, we'll send out links to USA Swimming where it shows which suits are banned and which suits are appropriate, so which ones they can do. If you have anybody that's 13 and over, it's all fair game. With practices, please try to arrive 10 to 15 minutes prior to practice. If you're going to be late or you need to leave early, please let us know. And with that being said, too, we close those doors. When we close the doors, everything's locked, so people aren't really able to get in. So if you're running late, if you know you're going to be late to a practice and you send us an email, we'll leave that back door open for you and make sure that we try to get your kid in. But if you end up being 2, 3, 4 minutes late, you may not have access to the pool if we didn't know you were coming in advance. Trying to make sure that we keep everybody out of the facilities. Once we are in, we make sure that everything is locked up because we want to make sure we control who's in and who's not in these facilities. Keep in mind, if there's not a coach outside screening, taking temperatures, don't just drop off your swimmer. Westminster does not want our athletes being left without any adults around. So don't just drop them off. I got to get somewhere and it's 4:30, it'll be okay. Please don't. They have asked us to make sure that coaches are there with the swimmers and not without. Also, when dropping off your swimmers, you may have to pull up and drop off in front of the pool, which is great. But when picking up swimmers, you need to be parking in the spaces that are just prior to the loading docks, which means you're a little bit further away from the pool. Westminster does not want anybody parking across the garages other than their staff and our staff, as well as in front of the garages or by the buses. So they've asked us to make sure to keep those areas clean and empty, and we're really working hard towards it. And we appreciate it. Over the last couple of weeks, the parents have really gotten a lot better at that. The other thing that we've noticed too is it kind of helps with the safety issue. We don't have people pulling out while all these kids are walking with their backs to these cars. So really, we found it's a lot more safe. And after JV practices, if you're in the early practice, Lynette leaves after the JV practice is over, so she's driving down there to make sure that there's no kids that are being left behind. If they've got the later practice, I walk down there as well to make sure there's no kids left behind. So we won't leave until the kids are picked up. Please make sure to pick your swimmers up on time. Please be at the pool at the end of practice. We will be getting them out right away. Because we've got different groups coming in and coming out, they may be out a couple minutes earlier so that we can get the next group in as well. Please keep in mind that often the coaches have to go other places and they need to leave as soon as they can, so we can't leave any swimmers by themselves. So please be there. Make sure that all girls are always wearing caps, and bring all of your equipment to each practice. So in the racing suits for girls are great when we get to meets. And if you look at the email, they'll have a list of like kind of the higher tech meets. But at the same time, really, any aqua blades are good. We don't want any. We don't want bathing suits, right? We don't want the summer suits. We want racing suits. So these suits should fit snug. They shouldn't really be able to pull those straps off their shoulders very far. And the thing that we tell people all the time, these swimmers will not grow into these suits. These suits last, as you get to higher end, they last 2 or 3 meets. At this end, it lasts 3 to 6 months. So these suits aren't going to be grown into what's going to fit and what's going to fit very well. Keep in mind that summer is your child's sport. Help make them responsible. Right now, this is kind of easy because parents can't come in anyway, but swimmers need to be bringing in and taking out their own equipment. It's important that they learn responsibility for their sport. It may be easier as a parent to help them, but we strongly encourage the kids to take care of it on their own. It's also important for them to learn to communicate with the coaches when feeling ill or injured, and they should begin taking more ownership of this sport. Along with feeling ill, swimmers' health in the era of COVID, very important. Please keep in mind that while we are screening and taking temperatures prior to every practice, if you or your child are not feeling well, for the safety of all concerned, stay home until healthy. We really appreciate everyone's attention to this during this time and have been thrilled with how much everyone is looking out for everyone during this time. We've had a couple parents that during the season, during the summer, did come down with COVID, and they were very good about alerting us right away, and they were also very good at understanding that their kids were out for those 14 days. It's all about just keeping everybody healthy. And we are doing our part to keep ourselves healthy as well. Because the reality of it is, if we get unhealthy, we don't have practice. So we are doing our part, and we appreciate you guys doing yours. Zoom practices and meets. While we're limited to who has access to the deck, we'll continue to Zoom all workouts, and we'll also be Zooming the meet. So those parents that are not signed up to timer officiate, you can watch the meet as well. The meet will also be posted on Meet Mobile, so you can kind of check out their times, hopefully in real time is my goal of that. And if it's not in real time, it'll be as soon as the meet's over, I'll upload them right away. And while we realize Zoom is not the best option, at least it does give you access to the deck in some way, shape, or form. And our feeling on it is, too, with USA Swimming and Safe Sport, trying to be compliant with that, we need to make sure that parents do have access to the deck in some way. My office hours are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to noon. So if you have any questions, you can certainly call me there. If you happen to come outside and you have a question while we're checking kids in, shout off to us. We can answer your questions. We're happy to do that. Or you can always email myself or Lynette, and our email addresses as well are there. All right, so I'm going to try to, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And I'm trying to find it.
It says chat disabled.
All right, here we go. All right, where is he chat disabled?
On my phone, it says down here at the bottom.
All right. right, Lynette is telling me right now the chat is disabled, so I'm trying to see if I can see where that would be, but I don't see. All right, let me. So just, I'm going to unmute. If anybody wants to unmute themselves, there we go. I'm unmuting all. So everybody's unmuted. So since the chat is not going on, if anybody has any questions, feel free to speak up.
Yeah, but do you want anything else?
And if you don't have any questions, you're more than welcome to just go ahead and log off. But if anybody has any questions, we'll stick on here for a couple minutes and answer any questions you may have.
You can also email us.
And we'll be sending this out afterwards as well.
Mark, do you still need timers for Saturday?
Great question. Log into the website, check on the job sign up, see if there's any ones open. My guess is we will, but with only needing 8, it will fill up pretty quick once people know it's out there.
Okay.
But it's the best seat. It's the best seat in the house. That's the only seat in the house. Let's be honest. Anybody else have any other questions? All right, if not, thank you very much for attending tonight. We appreciate it, and we will see you all very soon. We'll stick around until everybody kind of logs off in case somebody wants to wait and ask.